What is up, Cap Nation? It's ya boy, Capsirus, coming at you with a brand new review for what is by far my favorite episode of the season. Look, I know I usually take the, so how was this episode route with my videos, but I can't contain my excitement any longer. I just want to gush about Scoob vs. Courage. I was already hyped for this episode, but after watching the previews and sneak peek, I guess you could say that my hype defied the laws of Newtonian physics and rocketed into space at the speed of light. Especially after hearing about how Luis was doing the animation himself again. So, let's stop beating around the bush and get straight into talking about it. For starters, the analysis is just spectacular. I literally have no problems with it whatsoever. This whole thing is just one massive love letter to Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog series. And as someone who grew up with both, I am all for it. The editing is similarly really good. Both DJ and Galaxy Video Max absolutely killed it with the editing. I would also like to take this time to congratulate Max on being able to edit for this episode. You can tell he just had an absolute blast editing this. I really hope he gets more episodes in the future because he killed it with Scoob vs. Courage. And you know what else is really good? The jokes. My god, this episode had me both smiling ear to ear or sat flat on my ass laughing hysterically. The joke about the Jester and Scoob's analysis ending with a dramatic boom is really good, but the cutaway with Wiz unintentionally insulting Boomstick's mom just takes the cake. It was really cool seeing Mama Boomstick return. Also, shout out to Boomstick hating Scrappy-Doo just as much as the rest of us. What a little shit, I swear. Courage's analysis also has some amazing jokes. I think that my favorite has to be Courage screaming in Bob Ross's canvas. It's such a minor detail, but it cracks me up every time. The Eustace joke is also a close second. So, overall, both of these analyses are just perfect. I can't remember the last time I felt this way about an analysis segment. Anyway, moving on to the real star of the show, the animation. Not only does the animation outdo the analysis, but it outdoes it by like 20 billion fold. Let's go ahead and get the obvious gushing out of the way. Man, this animation is visually stunning to look at. I remember I made a comment about wanting Billcord to be hand-drawn, and I immediately take it back. This is by far the best hand-drawn episode of the entire series. Hell, it's better than every other hand-drawn episode combined. The entire animation just oozes charm out of every single pore of its cute doggy face. Sure, you got the obvious hand-drawn stuff like Scooby and Courage, both of whom look beautiful, but then you got Eustace, who was done in this sort of stop-motion claymation style, and my god, he looks phenomenal. The difference in animation style really helps sell him as this otherworldly, extra-dimensional demon, and I love it so much. I legitimately couldn't stop smiling and laughing while watching this. Hell, even after several rewatches, I have to actively try not to laugh. I simply adore how this episode uses Toon Force gags and shenanigans. The back-to-back joke showing the characters already know each other, which makes it feel like a continuation from Straight Out of Nowhere. The thumb wrestling bit where both doggos are only fighting to see which one of them has to face Eustace is hilarious. And it has a goddamn Jack vs. Afro reference too. Courage headshotting Scooby, leading to Courage being horrified, only for both of them to laugh it off, showing that they're still friends at the end of the day. The merger of the Scooby-Dooby Doors gag. Yes, that is the actual name of the gag. And the Courage opening the doors gag leading to an appearance from Showa Godzilla, which, fun fact, is a reference to the time Showa Ghidorah made his way into an actual episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. So, everything with computer, I'm very happy they found a way to include it in the animation. The Zabrinsky triangle showing the universe being shown from Wiz and Boomstick's TV, which is absolutely hilarious, is ruined by the fact that the TV isn't shown to be broken in the ending, but that's really just a nitpick. It was still really cool to see it included. Also, they already kind of did that joke with Black Adam versus Apocalypse, so maybe that's the reason they didn't do it. Oh, finally, last but not least, the fucking Azura's Wrath Wizen fight reference with Scooby saying his iconic catchphrase, ending with Courage screaming so loud that the track itself is overshadowed. There is so much Toon Force stuff in this episode that I'm surprised they didn't run out of budget. And it's all consistently animated so beautifully throughout the entire thing. Seriously, did Luis take a Scooby snack before animating this? Because that is the only logical explanation for how he cooked so hard. You could honestly tell me that this was the season finale, and I would have believed you. Hell, even the non-Toon Force gags are funny. The two just screaming at each other after calling out for their owners is funny. Courage being too scared to speak English to explain himself is hilarious, and it's something he does in the actual show. Courage's, or my name isn't Chad James, and it's not, line cracked me up when I first saw the episode. And Eustace being revealed to be the monster, like how most villains in Scooby-Doo are revealed. I also really like the interactions between the two characters. It's definitely helped by the fact that they took the straight out of nowhere crossover into consideration, and made it a semi-continuation of that. Since they both already know each other, it allows for the writers and animators to get creative with the animation. So instead of fighting to the death, the two are fighting to see which one has to take care of Eustace. I also like how when Courage takes it too far, either by disintegrating Scoob's head or dropping a giant bone on him, he shows genuine worry that he may have unintentionally killed Scoob. Only for Scoob to be fine because nothing can kill him! I also really like how the computer is used. Since it knows nothing about Scooby and the gang, it doesn't have an answer for how to beat him in a fight. So it just insults Courage instead by calling him a twit. The sound design is also phenomenal. The whole animation is just filled to the brim with a mix of cartoony sounds and really impactful sounds. My favorite being the giant hammer sound effect, Scooby running away from Eustace, the giant planet-sized Scoob, and of course, Courage screaming so loud, he shatters the giant planet-sized Scoob. Not only was this scene a, what the fuck, why is this so awesome moment, but the scream itself is super impactful. It may not be that loud to us, but it feels that loud, thanks to the fact that every other sound is almost entirely cut off by Courage screaming his lungs out. Speaking of which, both voice actors absolutely killed it. Billy Burson does a near flawless impression of Scooby. Every line that comes out of him sounds just like Frank Welker, and I love his performance so much. I especially love the delivery of the Scooby-Dooby-Doo line. He makes it sound so badass, and I love it. On the other side of the spectrum, Edward Bosco also does a near flawless impression of Courage, and I also love his performance so much. Funnily enough though, my favorite delivery from him is every single one of his screams, especially the big fuck off scream. I genuinely do not know how he didn't pass out due to the lack of air intake with how hard and long he was screaming. That is pure talent. The track is also really good. Forever Terror Night, from the sounds of it, is a really good track. It's very catchy, and it sounds like something I'd listen to on a daily basis. It is brought a little bit down by the fact that it conforms a lot to what happens to the fight, but for what it is still really good. Finally, we get to the ending, and I really like it. After Scooby returns to Earth, Eustace makes his final appearance where he is revealed to be the monster. Unfortunately for him, however, Scoob broke out the chest of demons, and Eustace is grabbed and pulled into the chest, ending the animation. Not only do I like Eustace getting his comeuppance, but I also like the fact that neither dog died. I don't think I would have been able to like this episode as much as I did if either ended up dead, 'cause I really love dogs. Also, the animation of Eustace getting pulled into the chest is legitimately brutal as hell. Deserved, honestly. Really, the only quote-unquote bad thing about the animation is that Scooby doesn't really have a reaction to the God Bone, and Courage just smacks it into him. But I have a counter for this. For starters, I'm pretty sure Scooby doesn't even like bones. I mean, maybe he did once, but as of right now, I don't think he likes them. Second of all, Courage literally blasted Scooby's face into ash, and Scoob was fine. So I'm pretty sure Courage knew that Scooby would have been fine if he just got crushed by the God Bone, cause remember, they know each other here. So, yeah, that was the animation. It was a perfect masterpiece, and the post-analysis is just as good. They bring up Chuck vs. Segata, which makes me very happy. They go over each advantage they could potentially have in the fight, explaining why those advantages wouldn't matter because neither could truly kill one another. They inadvertently scale Courage to Alien X and Boomstick showing off his hatred for dog abusers. Face Boomstick. And yeah, that's Scooby vs. Courage. So, what rating would I give it? Well, normally I don't do this. Hell, I didn't even do this for Billcord. But I'm giving Scoob vs. Courage a 100 out of 10. Does that seem dumb? Absolutely. Do I care if it's dumb? Hell no. This'll probably be the only episode I give a 100 out of 10 to. But I 100% feel that Scoob vs. Courage deserves it. This episode shattered my expectations and my personal ranking system. It was the most fun I have had with an episode since Trunks vs. Silver. You know, the episode where I popped off the hardest? Yeah, that is beaten by Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Fucking Dog. As for the next time, I managed to get half a W, boys. Rick versus the Doctor time, baby! For those who don't know, I'm a bit of a Whovian, so I am super excited for Doctor Who on Death Battle. Also, this is one of Jaden's most wanted, so I'm happy he got this. Anyways, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss any future videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter for updates on future videos, or to just see me talk about random things other than Death Battle. And finally, don't forget to check out our reaction. Link will also be in the description. Anyway, with all that in mind, I'll see you later, Cap Nation. Also vote for Tom vs. Wily.